Hello and welcome to Bedson and Coffey Unfiltered,
where we will be discussing fitness, lifestyle, healthy eating habits, relationships, gas station performance pills, answering romantic queries. You have anything else, Tyler? Is there anything? Do you need help with anything right now? Because I feel like I'm in a position where I can help you with it.
I mean, and everything else that we come across as we go. But you know what it's going to be, right?
It's going to be unfiltered. Just pop them, see what happens.
You train after you take them?
I only train when I take them.
Yeah.
I only like grappling. Like if I go to grapple, I'm gonna take a rhino and a royal honey and chase it with a monster, and then that's how I grapple. You know.
Hey, I'm sorry for that guy.
That's it. Yeah. Like somebody tries to roll you. Like if somebody tries to sweep you, you can post. You know, like you post with it, so you don't get taken over. You know, so it's whatever you gotta do.
Yeah, I mean, they sell a bunch of different ones. Oh yeah.
Are we rolling yet?
Yep.
We are rolling.
Oh, there's your cup.
We are
Appreciate
live.
that.
Which ones do you take?
Which ones do I take?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure, man, they have some of those. See, I've never actually bought them because they all seem kind of sketchy.
He's never actually bought.
Yeah. But they seem kind of sketchy, you know?
Uh-huh.
But I feel like they are borderline illegal. The point where they put something in there like it's not.
I have no doubt.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you some of them are straight Viagra or Cialis, and it's just like they're just, putting it in a purple capsule.
Mm-hmm.
With the rhino on the front.
With the rhino
There was a guy that come to the gym. His name was Dwight, and he's great. Hello, Dwight. But anyway, he was talking about him. He said he loved them. And one of the guys was like, man, why do you take them? Do you need them? He's like, I don't fucking need them. And he points out the parking lot, and he said, you see my truck? And he said, my truck? He said, there's nothing wrong with it. He said, it gets me from A to B. But if somebody said, hey, man, do you want to drive Gravedigger in tomorrow? I'll be like, fuck yeah. You know, he's like, I don't have to drive Gravedigger, but it's fun every now and then. And that's how he related it.
Hey,
you know,
that's a great way to put it, I guess. So
which ones do you take?
I haven't taken any of them, but they have different names.
Such as? So you just
we should make our own.
What would we call it?
Oh man,
there's too long a silence. What would you call it?
Raging Rumbler.
Raging Rumbler.
Yeah.
You could call it Built by Bedson for real.
Built by Bedson. Built by Bedson. Built by Bedson. That's
Built by
it.
Bedson, the exotic pack.
Exotic.
Exotic pack.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it right there.
Sounds like it's a THC strain.
I'll take that and 2 servings of the Clinical Labs pump enhancer.
Hey, that'd probably work actually, you know.
Vasodilators.
Some yohimbine, some pump enhancers, like that horny goat weed.
A little bit of ginseng.
A little bit of ginseng. That's what a lot of those are made up of. So
ginseng,
that
horny
and
goat weed.
Some other vasodilators.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, nitric oxide boosters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what like the prescription one does.
Clinical Labs needs to make one. We'll call it man. How do you put a clinical name into that? What would the clinical name for that be?
What would a clinical name for that be?
Sexual performance.
For sexual performance.
Clinical Labs Sexual Performance Enhancer. There you go.
Oh yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Plain and simple.
There we go. We got an idea.
But to be clinical means we have to have trials and so on. So,
all right,
let's go.
Yeah, we'll just hand it out to the masses.
Pass it out to the gyms.
Pass it off to the gyms. Everybody comes in there like, here, try this.
Yeah. You need a spot on bench? No, I'm fucking good, man. I'm good. I'm fine.
So it's officially fall, guys. It means there's a lot of good. This is my favorite time of the year, you know, because the weather's not as hot. I cannot stand when it's. I know Malcolm can't stand it when it's 100 degrees outside.
You get your little pumpkin lattes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you get your pumpkin lattes. It's Halloween almost. There's football season, so there's a lot of good things to look forward to. It's a lot more chill, you know. I'm not sitting there worried about anything. Not as much travel. Fun.
Yeah.
So that leads me to think like. What was your athletic background? Like, where did you start before bodybuilding?
So I was in high school. I played football. Like I started my freshman year football, which before I even came, like I used to come to Maysville for the summer. I went to Mason County High School. So I used to come to Maysville, and my cousin, he was playing football, and they had like their summer practices and stuff like that. And they had to run Royals. And like I used to run out there with them and stuff just because I was bored, and I was pretty much just burning everybody. And the coach pretty much talked me down to coming down here to, you know what I mean, play football. So I ended up moving down here with them, and I played football, ran track.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's kind of whenever you were done with school. How long afterwards did you kind of get into bodybuilding?
I honestly didn't get into bodybuilding until like 2.5 years ago. Like,
yeah,
I know you know Mike. He had competed a few years prior to that, so I seen him compete, and I met a lady named Suzanne at the gym, and the owner of Elite Fitness in the gym, Steve, and he see me in the gym all the time. Was just real adamant on telling me I should compete, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it a try.
Give it a shot.
Suzanne actually gave me your information.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that's when I reached out to you, and the rest is history.
It's kind of crazy, you know. You started 2.5 years ago, and a lot of people try to become pro, and it's a goal that takes them, we've talked about in past episodes, like 10, 15 years. They're trying forever.
I mean, there's master's classes like 70 years old.
I remember I was talking
to trying their whole life.
We went to North American, so I talked to Christian Guzman, and he's been competing, trying to get his pro card for like 7 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there I was like 1 point away from getting it then. So.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think about that, and it's a feat that not many you can do, but then when you get to the pro level, it's a whole different ballgame. And I'm sure you've realized that already. Like it is, everybody's good.
Yeah.
Everybody that turned pro is good, and you have to take it even further serious than you were.
Yeah, there's no margin for error. Like when I do my cardio every morning, that's what I'm watching the pro guys, like the Olympians and stuff like that. So that just inspired me. I know I can't fuck up on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No meals or anything, miss cardio. Really got to take everything serious.
So let's introduce yourself a little bit. Tell people, this is Malcolm Jones. Malcolm is IFBB Pro men's physique competitor. He turned pro actually this year. Like I said, he's only been bodybuilding for 2.5 years. Tell us about what you do for work, how you kind of do that with bodybuilding, because that's impressive. This is one thing where I get a lot of people make excuses about what they do for work. They're like, I can't bodybuild because of this or that, and then you hear what Malcolm does, and it's like, oh, okay.
So I do construction, so I'm a scaffold builder. I've been doing that. I've been with the company for going on 8 years this month, so I've been building scaffold for a while now. When it's hot outside, building fucking 200-foot scaffolds, and you know what I mean, we moving all day long and carrying beams upstairs, and so I'll be like, while we're in prep, it's like really draining. Like, but I look at it as like it's another form of my cardio. You know what I mean? I'm getting all these extra steps in and stuff. And I know I sent you a couple videos, like when we was out at the state capitol, we got that big scaffold going around the dome and everything. And like, it's like probably, I don't know how tall it is, but it's a lot of stairs. And I had to go up there like every morning, and I was like drained, like literally.
Been on that step mill all day long.
I had literally just got done with cardio, and it was like, here we go, about to do more stairs. But yeah, I've been doing that for a while. It's pretty easy, like get my meals in. I just stop at the gas station, heat my meals up, or sometimes I'll be so hungry, like I'll eat them cold. It don't even matter.
I tell people that every day.
Yep.
And you know, everybody has people mistake interest for commitment a lot of times. And there's a lot of people that are interested, but very few that are committed. And that's what it takes. It takes commitment. You know, eat your meals cold if you have to. If you're in prep, I mean,
you get to the point you don't even care.
You don't.
No,
you really don't.
Shouldn't care. That's the thing. You should be wanting to win so bad, and nothing else matters. And I hear people all the time, and they'll do something for work where it's like, it's not that complicated, but they'll make it as complicated as it can seem. Like they're like, there's no way I can do that much cardio, or I just don't know how I can get my meals in. And I'm like, but then you have other people that are doing other jobs that are 10 times harder, and they're just figuring it out.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what it takes.
Yeah. I mean, essentially you'll find a way or you'll find an excuse.
Yeah.
It's just, it's how important it is to you. That's all it is.
Luckily, I'm to the point now where I'm like mainly like supervising guys. So if I got to leave to go heat up a meal or something, I'm going to go heat up my meal.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah,
that's for sure. No, I had a guy one time, and he worked in a factory job. He worked like 60 to 80 hours a week. But I remember I would tell him to do 2 hours of cardio a day, and he'd still do it and just get it done.
Yeah.
And then you have other people and you'll be like, all right, I want you to do 45 minutes of cardio. And they're like, I just don't think I can do this. I'm too fatigued. I'm too tired. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
yeah,
it's a different mindset for different people. And I think what you have to do for a living and what your challenges are and your obstacles, you can get through just about anything.
Yeah, I mean, everybody talks about motivation. Motivation is really nothing. Motivation is an emotion, and like all emotions, they're temporary. You know, it's dedication. You know, and dedication is putting off that immediate gratification for the long-term goal.
Yeah.
And you know, it would be nicer right now to go stop here and eat or do this or whatever. But is that going to help you toward that long-term goal?
Right. How bad do you really want it?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what separates people. The distance they're willing to go. That's what separates people.
So, tell us about your experience becoming pro. Like, where you started from, how the process kind of came along. Because you did it in 2.5 years. Remember your first show, it went okay, but you got a lot better real quick.
Yeah. I mean, after that first show, I just really seen like the potential that I had, and I took that rebound pretty serious. Like, granted, I did have days where I eat like 5 guys a couple more times than I should have, but it wasn't nothing too crazy. But just with my wife, she was really, you know what I mean, diligent on making sure I was eating all the meals and stuff I needed to eat, and just making sure I get my cardio and everything done like that too. And then like going into this last prep, that's when we had my son. So it was a lot different, you know what I mean, doing things with him there, like going to USA's. It was a little bit more stressful because they was all there with me in the room and everything. And like, I probably only got like maybe 2 hours of sleep. And, you know, you already got your emotions and everything high. So it was a lot, but I just stayed locked in, talk to you, communicate with you as much as I could. And I know there was times where I felt like I wasn't ready, you know what I mean? Just looking at yourself, you like, I don't know if I'm really ready or whatever, but you got like a solid group of guys and, you know me, family just encouraging me to keep going. So, yeah.
Bodybuilding is very much a team sport. It is, man. Like everybody around you either helps you or harms you. And having a really good support system. And you said communication with your coach, and that is key. I can't stress that enough. You know, having a coach that you trust to give you objective feedback, and that communication is everything.
Yeah, and that's something you got to build over time.
It is.
I would say with my first prep, like as far as with my family, like my wife, like the communication wasn't really there. And I feel like that was a product of why I didn't do as well as I've done after that.
Sure.
Just communicating with her, explaining how I feel, and you know what I mean, just the different things like that. And that way she got a greater understanding of what's going on and how I feel also important too. So
being transparent with people. Yeah.
Like the more you make your significant other understand what you're doing and make them aware of like how you're feeling, be more expressive with your emotions. So it prevents a lot of arguments, and it prevents a lot of them being like almost confused. Because what we do is, in my opinion, kind of confusing for the average person that,
most definitely,
you know, doesn't do this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, you're doing this to yourself. Why are you acting this way?
Right.
You know? So I've noticed that your wife's very supportive of it. I think that's played a huge role in your success as well, because she is so supportive. And you have, like I said, it's crazy to me that you had a newborn this past year during this prep and became pro. Like that.
I didn't think I could have no more kids.
That was wild to me, because I knew that was going to be a challenge, and I was like, getting it done. Like, I mean, you can't make any excuses, and you didn't.
That was enough drive for me to keep going, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got a son, so I wanted my newborn to come in the world like my dad's a pro. Like, that's one way I looked at it. But
I remember seeing pictures of you before I'd ever had a chance to meet you. And I remember just chatting with Tyler, and I'm like, this guy has so much potential. You know, like he's got the structure. You know, it's just a matter of time. And sure enough, you know.
That's what we got to remember sometimes, is like he's only been doing this a short time. And they actually reviewed him on a podcast recently, and we were listening
Men's
to
Physique Radio.
Men's Physique Radio. Who's that ran by?
It's ran by Alex Toplin, Aaron Banks, and Drew Cullen.
So some really solid guys.
Yeah.
But they even said it's just a muscle maturity thing.
Sure.
And he's been doing this 2.5 years, but every year he's going to do it. He's going to continuously get better, which is so far what's happened. And we try to like tell people that, and I know you fully understand bodybuilding, and I think that's what's going to take you so far is because you're like, oh, okay, I get this. Like, I just got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I can't let go and just quit. Every training session adds up.
So it all comes full circle, you know, like him adding those gas station performance pills wound up with him having a son and then turning pro. So
Right.
like it's, you know,
Got
like
the rock hard gains in.
get them rock hard gains.
Rock hard gains. There you go. There's a supplement name.
That's it. Phallus Flex.
Phallus Flex. Oh, shit.
That's it.
It'd be like, you go ahead and advertise it only to bodybuilders. Remember that they made a vodka like that?
Did they make a vodka?
It was like, I want to say it was called like muscle vodka or something like that,
shit.
but it was literally just a vodka. But like they were selling it at bodybuilding expos. Like you go to the Olympia and it'd be like, try this muscle vodka.
Was it supposed to be like low calorie or something?
I don't know. I mean, vodka in general is kind of lower calorie than other options, but it's still got calories. But
Of course.
they just target it towards
Bodybuilders.
Just marketing. Just marketing.
It's kind of like what Wolfpack did, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They took the
They
tactical bags.
They took a tactical backpack. Yeah, you can get them for $20 on Amazon.
Yeah, tactical backpack.
Or you can get them with a patch saying you're a damn wolf
Yeah.
and pay $150.
It's genius, though.
Yeah, it
That's
is
the
genius.
thing. It's genius because they took over with that.
Absolutely.
Made them in 5,000 different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Got
It's
some
like
meal prep
the
bags.
sour strips and stuff, you know.
Oh, sour strips. That's another one.
It's like it's just marketing, man.
I remember I still had kids asking me if they could just eat those during training like it was 0 calories or something. I'm like, no, that's candy. Like, what do you mean? Can you eat that?
Yeah.
They're like, well,
I get a pump from it.
yeah. And I'm like, you're still eating candy.
But I seen so-and-so on Instagram doing it, and he looks good.
Yeah.
You ain't him.
I want to be him.
That's all he eats during the day.
That's it,
Egg
that's all.
whites and sour strips.
Do you, ever,
That'd be wild.
you remember Marius Pujanovsky?
No, who's that?
He's multiple-time world strongman champion.
Okay.
I mean, and the dude stayed lean. Like, he would win strongest man and have abs. I mean, unbelievable. But they were asking him stuff. And he was like, nah, he said he ate, like, hard candy all day long to keep his blood sugar up. Then, like, keep him energized. Said he ate a pound of bacon for breakfast and everything. But he would just keep hard candy with him. And he would eat hard candy, like, throughout the day. But the guy was like, Jesus, 300-plus pounds with, like, single-digit body fat.
That's insane.
I used to coach a power lifter and do like his nutrition, but he told me what he was eating and what he was lifting. Like he had like a 500 bench press, 700 squat, 700 plus deadlift, and he would eat just like Wendy's burgers and milkshakes, and that's it. And I was just like, and Pepsi, and I was like, how are you this strong off of just Pepsi, a burger, and a milkshake? And that's like all we ate during the day.
Yeah.
Just freaky. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But and you have guys like that, man. Like, and some people are like, well, he did it with this. Well, he did it in spite of that.
Yeah.
Imagine what could be done if somebody,
It's funny because Malcolm, I remember somebody I made that post about you and that 2.5 year difference, and some guy was like, his genetics are just great, and I'm like, nah, man, like this is a lot of work.
You got to keep working to see where your genetics are.
Yeah.
It's funny how the harder you work, the better genetics get, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy to me because it's like the work that can be done in a short period if somebody just goes all in is pretty wild.
No, absolutely.
And I know
But that's the thing, going all in. Like actually everything.
Yeah, which it's hard to dedicate to and realize like that's what it takes is everything. You get better every year just doing it.
And I feel like just proper training also. I feel like I've trained for so long improperly, and then once you showed me the proper way to train, that's when I started seeing crazy results.
Absolutely.
So,
I remember his back was like his weak point his first year, and I remember we trained together back like twice a week for a year. And it came up so much. I had so many people come up to me like, "What'd y'all do for his back? What'd y'all do for his back?" We were
gas
like,
station pills.
Gas station pills. It was the same movements though, for every week. We didn't switch a thing.
Yeah.
It was literally the same things. We found what worked, and it was just it. And just repeat the process, go up and wait.
Exactly.
That's
Just
it.
Linear progression, man. Like not everything has. So many people take a buffet style approach to training. They'll see some shit on Instagram and they'll say, man, I'm going to try this today and I'm going to try this, and this. It's like, no, find something that works and do that for a training block. Do that for a period of time.
Yeah.
Look for linear progression inside of it.
That's like some people I have on training blocks for 6, 8, 10 months straight because it's working. But then
Why change it if it's working?
I
Right.
have some though that are like, and I get this, like general nutrition, and my goal with them is to keep them in the gym.
That's it.
And when somebody's just beginning, I'm like, all right, well, let me throw some new challenges at you. Let me switch this up every 4 to 6 weeks, just so you have something, you know,
to look forward to.
You want to keep them in the gym. But as you get more advanced with training, what I realized is it's like you can do the exact same thing with minor changes over a year period, and that's all you need.
Yeah, it's, you know, like in the beginning, you know, you see a lot of times we refer to like newbie gains and beginner gains and so on, because that stimulus in any sort is so new that it, you know, it causes a response.
Yeah.
Well, as you get better and you get stronger, it takes more and more and more stimulus to create that same sort of response. You know, so when you find things that work, look for linear progression inside of that. Just increase and keep working. Those things that you can mentally connect to and you feel real good, you know, those type of movements. Yeah. Like you said, doing the same thing for back, just increasing and
Yeah, that's key.
Yeah, keep a log on everything. That way you know you're improving.
The log is a big thing I try to get people to do. You can do it so many ways too. I have some to do old school. They bring a book to the gym.
That's me.
I do it on my notes on my phone. You know, I always have my phone with me. I can pull up my notes page and I have all the movements I did and I just plug it in each time. And I make sure that I'm trying to improve either in a rep or, you know, even 5, 2.5. People forget the 2.5 and 5 pound weights.
Yeah.
That's something I really have to talk to people about. I'm like, you don't have to go up by 25 or 45 every time. That's how you start getting injured.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go up by those 2.5 and those 5 pound plates in small increments each week.
Yeah.
Man.
Even, and this is something a lot of people don't consider, is workout density. Let's just say that you didn't go up anything. Let's say you did the exact same weight, exact same reps, everything, but you did that whole workout in 10 minutes less. That's more workout density. You know, it took more strength to get that done in that shorter period of time. You know, so you've increased the density of that workout. So that's an improvement, you know, but yeah, those 2.5s and those 5s, everything, you know,
forget about
little gains. I worked out with a guy in Alabama, and he wouldn't let his training partner use anything smaller than a 10. And that guy's like, what about 2.5s and 5s? And he said, that's a weapon. He grew up lifting in jail.
That's a weapon.
I seen a video on Instagram yesterday. It was like, imagine having your man in jail and they was in there like lifting him like his body weight. They was like, imagine your man in jail being somebody's weight. So I'm like, bro.
That's wild. That's true though. I mean, like that's how a lot of people think about the 2.5s and the 5s. They're like, it's a waste.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of them?
Man, I've got increment plates at the gym.
Yeah, the ones.
Like 1.25s and stuff. Yeah.
That's how that's how a lot of Olympic lifters go up in their weights. Is those people are competing in
increase. You know, small increments. It doesn't matter what it is. More is still more. You know?
Yeah.
And those 2.5s turn into 5s, turn into 10s, turn into plates over time.
So often I'll see people though, and they'll only go up by 45s.
Yeah. Good luck with that shit.
Yeah, that's wild.
And then they get down on themselves like they're not progressing. And I figure out real quick, I'm like, okay, so how much did you try to increase in weight? And they're like, well, you try to increase it by 90 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damn weight.
Yeah, your fucking rep range went from 10 to 12 to 3.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like,
what did you think was going to happen?
No, and I see that so often, and it's just, I think it's an ego thing that a lot of people have to get out of. I used to be like that too. You know, when I was starting, I was young. I was like, I want to do 2 plates on bench press. So, you know, I do 2 plates for 4 or 5 reps at the time, and then it was like, kind of pointless, you know, because I could have been doing a lot less weight for more reps and growing a lot more efficiently.
Yeah, and you nailed it. Like a lot of us did that. The sooner you get past that, and the sooner you start thinking about what's going to help you get to that goal, and less of, you know, your buddies bragging on you for your bench press, the faster you'll grow.
Truth. So with men's physique, it's a huge community. I'd say a lot of it is about posing. That's one thing that you've started getting into a lot lately. I send pretty much every men's physique guy I have to one of you guys, honestly. So for posing, tell me some of the things, like, why is it so important for men's physique? Like, what do you think the difference made is? Do you think that's why some people are separating themselves, and how?
I think for men's physique, you just got your front and back pose. So if you mess one of those poses up, then you pretty much out of there. So I would, you know what I mean, make sure you get that your front pose anyways, get your angle right, you know what I mean, try to make your waist look as small as you possibly can by hitting those angles, you know what I mean? So, and then back pose, I see a lot of people mess their back pose up. I was one of those guys that was constantly messing my back pose up just by, you know what I mean, not opening up as much as I could or possibly pinching or something like that. Yep. So yeah, I'd work on my posing after every training session, even if it was for 10 minutes or so.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do. And it's with men's physique, especially, I see people win or lose based off posing. I've seen some guys with the best physique on stage, and I'm like, you would have posed right.
Yeah. And there's guys I've helped like for free. You know what I mean? Like after every training session, even if we went training together, I want to see you pose. Like I know you got a show coming up.
That's what you got to do.
You know what I mean? And then when they get up there and they mess their posing up, it's like the most frustrating thing in the world.
Yeah, and you made the perfect point there. You know, we don't have, you know, several poses to be compared at. You got a front and you got a back.
Yeah.
You know, you miss one of those, that's half your score.
That is half your score.
And you see so much guys will pull their scapula together and cut like 6 inches of width off their back because they pinch your shoulder blades together. They don't open. And it's like, boom, right there you go. You just lost that pose.
I'm huge on transitions too, because I think that's a lot of people forget how to throw that flare and make themselves actually look smooth.
Yeah.
Which is something I'm not skilled with. So I have very few people I trust to teach that. But if you're doing your transitions in men's physique and you're like not flexing your abs and you're making it look super tight, robotic, then it's gonna affect your score.
Just turn around. If you can't figure it out, just turn around. It's okay to do that.
Yeah. There's a lot of flare. Like, have you guys seen those videos of that one guy and he's showing all those different men's physique poses? And I mean, they're like ones that look like Street Fighter and like
some
like
guys
Naruto
are really talented.
and like he'll be moving his arms around like crazy.
When you get a second, YouTube the very first men's physique Olympia.
Oh man,
have you seen it?
Yeah, I have.
People were wearing tennis shoes. They had on tennis shoes. They had on gym shorts. Some of them. One guy come out and did like a martial arts like kata. Like he came out throwing kicks and shit. Like,
oh shit,
it was wild. Like guys, like there was no set criteria. It was just like, this is new ground. Let's see what works, see what doesn't. And everybody was doing different shit.
It's changed so much too. I remember some of the guys, like, because I used to work at the supplement store and what was it, Gold's Gym way back. And the men's physique pros at the time, because men's physique was kind of new. It just came out. But you see some of these guys that were men's physique pros, and you're like, that's just a dude that went to the beach. Like,
that's what they was looking for, like a beach look.
It was just a beach body guy. And that was what was like super popular though. And you had a lot of those guys go pro then, and then they never won again because it was just what they looked like.
Yeah, the class you know, evolved so quickly.
Extreme.
I feel like even within the last 3 years, like as far as posing.
And size in the last couple of years. Size changed a bunch. You know, like the feedback we got in 21.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel we'd get that feedback now.
No.
In the same situation, you know. You know, size has come on a bunch, but like even from the first, like what was it? Mark Anthony won the first one, and then he didn't win again. You know, and then you got Buendia winning, and then you know now you got like these guys are big.
Oh, they're huge. You see that some of them got bigger upper bodies than open bodybuilders, and their weight.
Probably why they implemented the weight cap.
That weight cap, I think, helped in a little
only
bit.
in pros though, right?
Yeah, only in pros.
Which is interesting to me because it's like. I try to still follow that weight cap even with some of my guys in the regional level shows because I'm like, all right, well, that kind of gives me an idea if they're too big.
Sure.
Good example is DJ. He was kind of close to his. And I'm like, he's a big boy.
So like, you got to go bodybuilding.
So what's a lot of people are familiar with like the classic. You know, you got the height and weight ratio. So explain a little bit about the weight caps in men's physique when it comes to pro.
So it's the same thing. It's pretty much as classic. So I'm 6'2", 6'3". So my weight cap will be like 239. So you'll have like a guy that's like 5'9", and I believe their weight cap might be like 191, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you weigh on stage last time?
214.
214. So that's a lot of cap room to fill. So imagine how big some of those dudes are getting.
So we in 21, I don't know what it would be. I was in the 5'9" to 5'10" class, and we were 212 on stage. And I remember classic was what was the cutoff there? Like 191, 194?
I think something like that. Yeah. They increased it since then. But what was it, 5'10", 5'11"?
No, I was right at 5'10", but I was in the 5'9", 5'10" class.
Yeah, I think it's 194 or 198. Something like that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, though, because you'd have to cut. I don't know if we could have pulled anything more off you.
I was pretty dry. I mean, I was lean.
That's wild.
So I'm surprised they gave you 239 in your height class, though, for men's physique. Because what is it in classic for pro at that?
was 6'3"?
It's not much more than that, right? I mean, for classic,
it might be a little more. It might be
it's like 242 or something like that.
but from 239, that's 3 pounds.
Yeah.
That's not much different.
Yes, especially in classic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, all sorts of, but
So, I mean, if you've got a guy who's not doing a whole lot of legs and he's 239, I mean, his upper body's massive.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That just shows
somebody come in with a prison bill.
But the thing is, what I realize is a lot of these,
a
lot of these guys aren't at the cap, which is good because, you know, a lot of those pros, you'll ask them what their weight is and they're still like 10 pounds below the cap. It's all about the look.
Right.
100%.
So they don't necessarily want the biggest guy because that kind of counts you off at some points. It's the one with the best structure and it's all about your shape.
Yeah, flow and symmetry.
Yeah. And like Jimmy told us, it was like if they were to put a curtain up, it's whoever got that best silhouette.
Yeah.
So you're trying to hide your waist and your angles and you're trying to position yourself in the best way possible. And I think it's even harder for men's physique because like we said, there's only 2 poses.
Oh, absolutely.
But depending on where you're standing out on stage, when you got those 2 poses and you're not angling into your best way, that could be the difference between, you know, 5th and 1st place.
Absolutely.
Because you're able to show your waist on this side of the stage and it's real small, but on this side of the stage, you're trying to show it and you don't look as good.
You can't get your obliques out on one side like you do the other. Yeah. You're used to posing a certain way.
That's a rough one. So you got to practice every position, every angle.
And like letting your stomach out. Like you see that a lot. Like, you know.
Yeah, you got to know when to reset.
Oh, yeah.
You can't. That's one thing you're really good at because you always hide it.
You got to hide it.
X in front of you.
Yeah, that's why I tell my opposing clients, like, if you feel yourself like letting your stomach go, reset and blow all the air out.
Yeah.
They can't judge.
I always get a good breath before I turn back around too. Like when I'm facing away, I get that breath before I turn back. I want to get
Even with my bodybuilding poses, whenever I would be transitioning, if I knew I need to control my stomach or my sides, I'd always put my arm right here and like put it out so it would cover it. So there's different things you can do, and you have to remember that though, especially for men's physique.
Oh
man, that is some of the most intricate stuff. You got to remember everything on stage, or somebody else is going to expose you. Crazy.
Even like as small as like guys who like steps in front of the line and you're still on the line, it makes the other guy look bigger.
Absolutely.
So you got to be conscious of those things.
I did that to you at Junior USA's, and it was funny because you saw the pictures. And this guy was not bigger than Malcolm.
But he looked bigger.
Yeah, he
closer
looked
to the
bigger.
cameras.
He took a full step back, and we're like, that dude's huge.
Yeah, my opposing coach at the time, Ben Quill, he was telling me, like, you got to be mindful of those things. You see him step back, you step back with him. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I mean, at that time, I ain't really know
it's
anything.
Stuff you don't think about.
You don't know about that.
Even things I've seen too, like, and obviously he knows this, but you know, I've seen guys that wear their trunks a little too high and they have them right at the bottom where their obliques cap, and you just added 2 inches to your waist.
Yeah.
Like bring them just exactly. Bring them just below where those obliques cap so you can see that V taper in the waistline, and you cut the waist down so much, man. Like there's just, and all that, you know, either will come with experience or you've got a good coach who's going to help you with those things. Man. But you see people miss the mark, and it's like, man, just these little details could have been the difference in placing on that.
I remember I had a guy turn pro in masters men's physique one time, and he had lost a lot of weight, so he had a little bit of loose skin, and he was all concerned about it. So I was like, well, let's just pull up your shorts a little bit higher and, and put you up on stage. I was like, they can't judge it. They can't see. He ended up winning.
Yeah.
And because he looked great. Yeah. It was just like.
Yeah, and in his case, that could have helped.
Yeah, sure. That could have helped. And it's such simple things that you got to think of. Like, okay, well, they're judging everything they can see up there, and that's it. So you got to, every part of your presentation.
It ain't what you have, it's what you can show.
Yep, exactly.
And that's just it, man. You cannot overlook the posing part of it.
Yeah.
I think it's an afterthought for new competitors, but it's so big.
Yeah, some guys don't even work on their pose like until like a few weeks out, and then they
shows.
Up there breathing hard and get washed out. Yeah, working on your posing every day.
Yeah, especially.
That's why, like on my active rest days, I usually go to the gym and just pose.
Absolutely.
Do core pose.
Yeah. Got to really go on presentation. Presentation, as you know, it's like when you do a WBFF, it's even more like that.
Yeah, it was like a T-walk. Like you got to pose like 4 or 5 times. You'd come out and you'd be at the back of the stage and you'd hit shots, and then you'd come up to the center, hit shots, walk over to stage left, shots, and then stage right, shots, and then back. And then they bring you up for comparison.
And they're judging every bit of that, how you walk, every step you take.
Everything. And like you're not even, like everything. Like it's instead of from here down, it's from here down.
Yeah.
You know, because they have that marketability.
Mm-hmm.
You
So
know?
if you're ugly,
yeah, if you're ugly,
do it.
do NPC.
Sorry about your luck.
but like, you know, that you're not allowed to wear glaze. Like you can't oil. They'll tan you, and then like 6 hours later, they want you to rinse it off. Like you don't scrub, you don't use like body wash or nothing, but you'll just rinse it off and just kind of rub. They just want that natural look because they're looking at skin condition. Like you come in, you got a bunch of back acne or something, they're gonna mark you down, and they don't get feedback either.
that's even worse.
No, they won't give feedback because of that marketability thing. Like they're not just gonna say, well, the guy that beat you was better looking.
Yeah.
You know, they're not gonna say those type of things. But that's why they have like, even in the muscle model that I won and went pro in, it's like 60% physique, 60 or 70% physique, and then 30 or 40% marketability.
Mhm.
And that marketability is just kind of like this, whatever the hell they decided.
Yeah.
You know, and it's but presentation is key. You know, like, you know, stage presence, everything.
Yeah. That's a rough one. Honestly, I would be screwed if I tried to compete in that.
I enjoyed that a lot more. To me, that was a lot more fun.
Yeah, because I think you got the look for it too. That's the thing. Like, you have that muscle model look that they were really looking for.
It worked out well for us, and I regret we didn't get to do it a second time that year, but maybe in the future we'll see how it goes.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good thing to go shoot for again.
They had a weird class. They were going to do a tattooed model class.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So, but man,
Where was this?
it's WBFF.
Yeah, it's
Paul
a-
Deleska, World Beauty Fitness Fashion.
Federation. Or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, it's like AJ, what's his name? But anyway, he was like their Mr. Olympia, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Ellison, AJ Ellison.
Okay.
Yeah, gray haired dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see him. You probably seen him on Instagram. He's
Got tons of followers.
it's like 1 million
Yeah,
followers.
super nice
something
guy.
like
Super
Yeah.
nice
that.
guy.
Yeah.
But a lot of their guys, like it's just a cross between modeling and bodybuilding, and they make you know that during the meetings too. Like you can't hit traditional bodybuilding poses. Like one hand has to be open, or there has to be something different. But it's the first time I got to wear like trunks instead of just like board shorts.
Mm-hmm.
But but I think they may have they rebranded it or something. Now it's called like FSG or something. There's like 2 different organizations now.
They've had a lot of people like leaving. I'm pretty sure that we're going to the NPC and IFBB because more opportunities.
Yeah, even the like I think his name is Wole, Wole, Adisa Moye. I think maybe is his last name, but he's from Britain, and he was their muscle model champ for a few years. Well, he recently went and did an NPC show, and he won the Masters class, but then they marked him down in Open because they said he was too big. He was a lot bigger than. Yeah, sometimes it comes down to the class you're in, even. You know, like if you get in there, you know what I'm saying?
That's what's always rough too. Is
Yeah,
like
you're
you'll
200
have like,
pounds and the guys are 160. You look like a monster.
Yeah.
which makes it so awkward because it's like you don't know.
In a
what they
different
would
show, this
compare.
guy would have been perfect.
Right.
You know, sometimes it's kind
different
of
lineup. You're fine. That
Yeah.
lineup, it's like, oh well,
Yeah.
you just look different.
But he had a great look for WBFF and he did exceptionally well. But he handled it classy, and he's like, well, you know, he said, I know now better what they're looking for, so I'll make the adjustments. And he said, I'll come back. So, but in Masters, he'd be hell on wheels. It'd be tough to beat.
Yeah.
Some of the Masters classes, like once he dials in and figures out what direction he wants to go in.
Mm-hmm.
So one more thing I want to talk about because I think it's a good insight. You have 3 kids.
Yeah.
And you have a wife.
Mm-hmm.
How do you kind of navigate family life whenever you're going through bodybuilding, and how do you kind of cater to both ends of that so that you can be a good dad and still compete?
Well, I'd say like with my wife anyways, I'll bring her to the gym with me. You know what I mean? She wants to get in shape or look better for herself. You know what I mean? Be better for her self-esteem and everything. And just trying to be present with my family in general. Just, it just comes with time. I mean, I didn't do so well with it the first time going through prep and everything, but I've done a lot better with it this second, third go around. And I say like just like family games and stuff like that, just spending time, quality time with them.
Yeah.
I know my girls, they like playing like Roblox and Fortnite and stuff like that, which I don't really care too much for. But sometimes my oldest, Raylan, she's about to be 10. And she just wants me to come in there and sit her and watch her play and stuff because she's actually pretty good. She be winning and stuff. I'll be surprised. But yeah, so it just be small things like that, just going outside and spending time with them. You know what I mean? Just actually being present. it's a big thing.
So do you teach your kids about like healthy eating? Are they interested in that?
That's all they see. Like they be in the gym with me and everything. Like my youngest daughter, Amaya, she's 6. Like every time we in there working out, she wants to come in there and do pull-ups, or she want to get on the Stairmaster.
How they get into it.
Yeah, just
That's
always
awesome.
around. Like, but they always see me in there. Just everything I do is eating consistent. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like whenever they get older, they're gonna probably venture into it. Maybe like my Amaya, like I said, I watch videos and stuff on my phone all the time, and she sees me watching those, and she might try to hit her little back pose or something like that.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, but she's always around. I feel like they both do gymnastics and stuff, so they're pretty active, and I feel like they're probably gonna be pretty good as far as whatever they consider or they want to do.
That's a great place to start too, is gymnastics for any sport.
Mm-hmm.
For any sport.
Yeah, if you start with gymnastics, it's going to lead to a lot of better opportunities in the future because you're going to learn more about how to actually use your muscle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, great place to start. I think they'll end up getting into bodybuilding eventually.
They might, as long as they can. Stop eating chicken fingers and fries, it'll be all right.
That's all kids. I feel like that's what I ate when I was young: chicken fingers and fries.
Shit, they still good.
Yeah,
Just because I don't eat them all the time don't mean I don't like them. But
Yeah,
they're
true.
still good. You got to keep you away from Long Johns.
yeah. Long
I
John
like
Silver.
Long Johns too. I ain't had it in
See,
forever, but
that's
I
what we
do
talking
like
about
Long
last time.
Johns.
You know, Long John Silver's is just like a hidden, special thing.
Like
You know,
a
the first ever Long John Silver's was in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a
first
history
one?
lesson on Long Johns, was you?
Surprise.
Tell us more.
That's all I know.
That's the end of that.
There's not one in Lexington, Kentucky anymore.
To think the
Close one.
birthplace of it now is just there's not even one.
Actually, that one burnt down. I'm pretty sure an employee burnt it down.
Mm.
Yeah,
What makes you say that?
because it was in the news when I was younger.
That the employee burned it down?
Yeah, it was like an arson
A
thing.
disgruntled employee.
Yeah, they didn't pay him enough, and they he was just like burned it down. That
There's
happened
one in
to Qdoba
Somerset.
too.
There's one in Somerset.
Really?
Long Johns.
Yeah, but your ass won't ever come visit. So
There's one in Somerset.
I fucking told you this like 4 or 5 times.
There
Act
would
like
be
you
one in
surprised.
Somerset. You know, I was
there's
there
one in
the other.
Somerset.
Yeah,
You know that. You know that. You just don't want to come visit.
I'll come visit.
Come visit. I'll take you to Long John's.
Take me to Long John.
to get some crunchies.
We'll go on a bro date to Long John's
Go train and go to Long John.
and be sick as a motherfucker.
That's the thing. That's some grease there,
Oh yeah.
man.
I'll take you to eat Long John's beforehand, and I'll skip the meal. That way you feel like shit when we train.
I need to come up there.
Yeah.
I need to come up to you. I need to come up to your gym and train soon.
We do. We
Yeah,
need to make
it's
it
been a
happen.
while since I've been there.
Well, you've not been to the new location.
I have not been to the new location.
Yeah.
You're right. How's that going?
It's going well. I've got more than double the size of the last one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
So like the last one was kind of, I mean, it was big enough. It was maybe 3,500 square feet or so,
Yeah.
3,500 square feet. This place is double the size. Like
Sweet.
I've got 3 separate rooms. I've got the main room with cardio and machines.
Mhm.
And then the middle room is all like a leg room, so it's all leg equipment. And then the last room is the power room where we've got our deadlift platform, monoliths, bench presses, and so on. And then we got an upstairs classroom and stuff.
Dang.
So yeah, it's not bad.
You got like a favorite type of brand of like Arsenal and stuff
So
like
I
that?
do have a whole lot of Arsenal equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of Arsenal equipment. I have a lot of Cybex and
Mhm.
Lifestyle as far as the pull pin machines and so on. Most all of our plate loaded equipment is Arsenal. Yeah, we
Smooth.
got that. My business partner Annie Jaime, she's awesome, man. She's the glue that holds everything together. Nothing would be possible without her help in it. But she and I started in 2016, and we had Arsenal outfit our gym then.
Oh, smooth.
Yeah. And since then we've just added, and I just ordered a few new pieces actually this past week. I don't even know if I made that known to the members yet, but ordered 3 new pieces from a company. Should be in like Tuesday. So
You want to tell people what they are? Or you want?
no, I just I just ordered like a Pit Sharp belt squat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then a nicer T-bar row, and then a bilateral bicep curl.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, I love those machines.
Oh yeah, it's rare you see those anymore.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
love those.
like I have a lot of unique pieces, like even just the Arsenal lateral raise.
Mhm.
Like,
That one's great
I love
because
that
it
machine.
kind of
Yeah.
goes with whoever, whatever
yes.
your height is.
Yeah, and it's very ergonomic. Like it makes you do the movement correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was like that piece is very expensive for a piece that just does one thing, but it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's one of the better ones I've used because it's, you just can get right there and you can start. You don't even have to change anything. One of my least favorite things is like having to change up equipment based on who I'm working out with.
Oh, yeah.
So it's real nice when you don't have to do that. A lot of Arsenal pieces are like that. Like they're already set. So for any height.
Instead of the handles on it, like the attachment to it, I'll grip, like prone grip on it and lean in and pull apart for rear delts. And honestly, they'll feel like they're going to cramp. Like it's just.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
It's a real good idea.
Great piece.
I have to come down there and check it out.
Yeah, come on. Anytime, man.
Yeah, sure.
I've been to Somerset in a while other than that.
The show was last time.
That was the last show they had there too. The last Kentucky Open.
Well, he'd been wanting to have it there for a bit.
Yeah. That was actually a good venue.
It worked out well.
Yeah, I think that worked out well. It was much nicer than the past ones. Even at the Rupp Arena, I feel like it was just
the year that
not as good as that stage.
Yeah, the year that I'd done it was the last time they had it in Frankfurt. It was in 2017. And after that, what they did, they went to Owensboro.
They went to Owensboro that one year, and I remember they were wild there with what they were charging. I remember
really.
I recall him telling me like paper towels. They were trying to charge him like $40 to $80 for a roll of paper towels. He's like,
everything was like crazy markup. Yeah, it was like a crazy markup.
And then they tried to charge him money for the toilets because they had tan on them, and they were like, "We need to replace these whole entire toilets." He's like, "No, you don't. Like,
wipe them down.
Wipe them down." So I think that one went poorly. Plus, Owensboro is kind of far away. Sorry to anybody in Owensboro, but you guys are kind of far away.
It was 4 hours. It's 4 hours?
4 hours. Yeah. Western Kentucky.
From here, it's a pretty good drive. Yeah.
About 3.5, 4. Because I used to go to Murray State, and it was about 4.5. That's a little bit further west.
Yeah, and Zach went to Kentucky Wesleyan. I think it's up there.
Yeah. It's just a long, boring drive, too, out west in Kentucky. It's a very beautiful area.
Yeah.
You go out to Western Kentucky, it's real nice. All the people are nice in Western Kentucky, but it is such a boring drive. Like, there's nothing to look at. It's just trees.
Yeah.
So, I got some good gyms, though.
I've not been there much. Yeah. I went there once to buy an RS7. That RS7 I bought it there in Owensboro. That was about the only time I think I went out there for anything.
So, Malcolm, is there anything else you want to talk about or tell us about?
Just looking forward to growing and, hopefully make a pro debut 2025.
Yeah, so one thing Malcolm always says is some people don't want it that bad. And that really relates to a lot of things.
That's true.
It's the truth. Either you want to do this or you don't. And some people just don't. You have to really decide if this is something you want to go all in on. Bodybuilding is one thing that's got to be 100%.
The thing that I've seen with this is, whenever you start getting into this, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And I promise you that. Like, you see somebody in the way they work in the gym and how serious they take that, or their diet or anything else, all of that comes back together.
Yeah.
Like, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So, like, the guys like in Malcolm's position that are doing this well, they're doing everything correctly. They're putting in the work, and it shows.
Yeah. Malcolm, where can we find you on social media?
Instagram is The Sweet Jones, THASWEETJONES.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for coming on,
Malcolm
man.
Jones. Yeah. Appreciate y'all having me.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
This has been Bedson and Coffey Unfiltered. Thank you guys for listening.
Make sure to go follow us on social media.